But here's a headline here. Nostradamus predictions for 2023. The Antichrist arrives, World War III, and the monarchy dies. You get all that? Good. But no one told Nostradamus that we're way past World War III.
We're in World War IV!
Exactly. He didn't get the message back there in the 1500s. But we'll see what he has to say. And this comes from the New York Post. As the year comes to a close, it's time to talk doomsday forecast, my babies, and no one grips us with grim quite like Nostradamus. Nostradamus,
what?
Nostradamus, Nas if you're nasty.
That's right. I closed the article right there.
Yeah, but we have to plow on. So Nostradamus, Nas if you're nasty, was a 16th century astrologer, plague doctor, accused heretic, and bearded seer that had been credited with foretelling the Great Fire of London, Hitler's rise to power, and the September 11th attacks, and the COVID-19 pandemic, to name a few. I didn't know about the COVID-19.
COVID-19.
Yeah, I didn't know about that one. That's new on my list. Sometimes on the money, but more often than not, muddily missing the mark. Our man's prophecies lean towards a conflagration and catastrophe. Referred to as the prophet of doom, Nostradamus' bleak worldview is believed to have been shaped by heavy doses of the Old Testament and the trauma of losing his wife and young children to illness, presumably the plague. Unable to cure the loved ones he lost, it seems he set out to forewarn the rest of us through his revelations of ruin. So what is he predicted for 2023? I hope it's something good. Let's see here. So Nostradamus' predictions for last year included the rise of AI, the conquering power of cryptocurrency, and the surge in cannibalism as a response to inflation. How'd he do? Well, Bitcoin has gone bust. Inflation remains at an all-time high. And not for nothing, Dahmer, Monster, the Netflix controversial series, became the second most watched show in the network's history. Oh, okay. I guess cannibalism kind of is in vogue a little bit. But with with a toothpick in hand and a wary eye on the end of the year, read for our overview of Nostradamus' prediction for 2023. So, I want to read the overview here. Okay. So here's the overview. Buckingham Palace ablaze. Nostradamus predicts that in 2023, you will see celestial fires on the royal edifice. Taken literally, this could mean a meteor is headed straight for Buckingham Palace, burning down the house, if you will. Or more metaphorical tip, Prince Henry and Meghan Markle, who recently released a bombshell Netflix series detailing the dark deeds committed against them by the crown, have taken aim with a different kind of firepower, lighting up and tearing down the reputation of the royal family as we know it. Okay. I could see that. I could see something big happening to the royal family in 2023. King Charles, he hasn't even officially been ordained as the king. Like, he hasn't had one of those big ceremonies yet, right? I don't think so.
It's supposed to be next year, I think.
I think they're going to skip him. That's the rumor. They're just going to skip that guy.
They're dragging their feet, hoping that he just kicks a bucket.
Maybe. But I don't think they want him. They want to go with who's the eldest one? Kevin?
Bobby.
Steve. They want to make Steve the king. King Steve. Well, the next prediction is World War III. Nostradamus writes that in 2023, we will find the world embroiled in 7 months of great war, people dead through evil. This could apply, albeit a bit late, to the firefight and to the devastating conflict in Ukraine, which thus far has been marked by war crimes and a heavy civilian death toll. In terms of evil, Nostradamus blames hate-mongering, death-dealing Libra Vladimir Putin, and that comes pretty close to personifying it. So I didn't know Putin was a Libra. Wow, interesting.
Wait, Nostradamus, I'm looking at that last sentence. Yeah. In terms of the evil, Oh, okay. I see okay, never mind. That was a poorly written sentence. In terms of the evil that Nostradamus is referring to, Putin comes pretty close to personifying it.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
And then the next prediction is the Antichrist cometh. You ready for him? Yay! I feel like I hear about the prediction of Antichrist every year. And that like 2012, Antichrist is coming. 2013, he's running a little late. He'll be here in 2014. His car broke down.
The alarm didn't go off.
Yeah, but
he ran out of gas.
2023, he's coming. Nostradamus writes that in or around 2023, the Antichrist very soon annihilates the three. 27 years his war will last. The unbelievers are dead, captive, exiled, with blood, human bodies, water, and red hail covering the earth. And surprise no one, the Antichrist is a dude with bloodlust, which means he could be lurking under the lies and neckties of any number of global politicians. He doesn't name them. But with mentions of war and unbelievers being dead, captive, exiled, there's a strong indication that the Antichrist could be Putin himself, though Elon Musk's Halloween costume in the Twitter response to it suggests that the madman is also in the running. So it's either Putin or Musk, according to the New York Post.
That's right.
This is twice in the same article that whoever this writer is has a major hard-on for Putin.
Yes. They're really angling for him to be the Antichrist. I mean, that's quite an honor, don't you think?
Exactly.
Think about it. They've been talking about the Antichrist for like hundreds of years, if not thousands, tens of thousands of years. And it'd be quite the honor if you got dubbed Knight of the Antichrist. That's something else. Nothing to
like
nothing. Yeah, nothing to sneeze at.
Did I do that?
Yeah, maybe.
Little Urkel action.
Little Urkel.
Whoopsie daisy.
Actually stumble into being the Antichrist? Maybe.
My bad.
It happens. Well, that's all they got on the predictions for Nostradamus.
Did I do that?
There you go.
I'd like to have another Putin-themed article, please.
Okay, well,
maybe one with more Putin.
We'll go to the blind mystic Baba Vanga. And
Baba Ganoush.
This comes from the Daily Star. Blind mystic Baba Vanga's eerie 2023 predictions: solar storms and deadly bioweapons.
That's right.
So a little bit different than Nostradamus. Blind mystic Baba Vanga is famed for her outlandish predictions that often come true, and unfortunately, the notorious fortune teller has painted a bleak picture for 2023. The late psychic, dubbed Nostradamus of the Balkans, successfully predicted several horrors, including the death of Princess Diana, the Chernobyl disaster, and 9/11, and even her own death. Well, that's a bit of a downer that you predict your own death.
Also, probably COVID-19.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. Well, we'll see if they throw that in here. Despite passing away in 1996, her predictions have lived on and lasted until the year 5079, when she believes the world.
No, I'm not staying up for that.
Well, you're gonna have to get in shape. You're gonna have to watch what you eat to make it that far. No more chips. Get to the gym, Joe. If you want to make it another 2,500 years.
I can't wait to die.
Two of her predictions for 2022 were correct, with her claims that there would be intense bouts of floods coming true in Australia and warnings of a drought also playing out as it hit Italy, their worst water shortage since the 1950s. Baba said that she had been blinded by a tornado as a kid and left with the power of looking into the future. And she has 4 predictions for 2023. Isn't that a likely story? You get blinded by a tornado, then you can see the future. That's like something Stan Lee would come up with. I'm curious
about this. How did the tornado blind her? Did it like knock on her door and then she opened it and poked her in the eyes?
I mean, I'm just assuming that these tornadoes, they just throw everything around. So dust, dirt, straw. And we grew up learning that if a tornado gets a hold of straw, it can throw straw straight through a 2x4.
Through a telephone pole.
Through a telephone pole. Through a concrete safe. That's what they tell us.
And it'll home in like that movie with Tom Selleck and the missiles. It'll home in on your eyeball.
Yeah. Oh, that was called Runaway.
I'll run away.
Starring Gene Simmons of Kiss. Yay! And Tom Selleck. He's down there. But the
Tom Selleck showed up at some point.
But the predictions, according to the Blind Seer, Edgar Casey was called the sleeping psychic, not the blind psychic, the sleeping psychic.
Which one was called Miss Cleo?
Miss Cleo, she had a telephone company and she took people's money. You might be able to still call her. I wonder if those numbers still work. But the Blind Seer, Baba, has this to say about 2023. First prediction, bioweapons test. With the war in Ukraine rumbling on amid fears from the West that evil Vladimir Putin will harness nerve agent Novichok, this prediction from Baba is particularly stark. She reckons that this is the year bioweapons will be used more than any other year, with the testing and potential use of bioweapons marking one of the psychic's more worrying predictions. Baba has provided a worrying lack of detail over her warning, with little known about exactly how the threat will arise. So again, they're going after Putin there. Okay. No mention. Baba's not mentioning any kind of specific conflict. Did it take place exactly in Ukraine? We know that there was concerns over biolabs in Ukraine. There's been threats like this. So maybe something will be released. But she's not being specific enough. And that's kind of like my irritation with a lot of these predictions is like there's really no specifics. And it's left a lot of interpretation.
Well, and how did they phrase that? She was worryingly shy on details or something?
Yeah, we're like there's going to be mass death possibly due to a bioweapon somewhere on Earth in 2023. I don't even think she got that specific. But the next one I think is even more concerning, which is a prediction of a solar storm. The legendary fortune teller warned that the Earth might have to deal with a terrifying solar storm in 2023. Freak space weather could knock out electrical grids, satellite communications, and even the internet if such an attack was to hit. The British government admitted last year that more needs to be done to protect from that risk, saying that the rail and financial sectors are particularly in danger, so let's hope Baba's warning can kickstart preparations. Probably not. I mean, they're going to protect themselves. Like the ruling elite saying, we got a little bit of money to protect ourselves, but the rest of you're all screwed. They're probably building their own independent power stations and water filtration systems and deep underground bunkers. The rest of us are going to be up here fighting over PlayStation, I guess. The next one she has is lab babies in 2023. With Elon Musk declaring his Neuralink brain chip is ready to be used, the lines between technology and human life have already been blurred. But Baba reckons this could be this could go even further, with the psychic supposedly believing that parents of the future will be able to decide the skin color and characteristics of their children. Her claims could see the end. Her claims claim that we could see the end of births as we know it, with traits and appearance selections made in labs rather than the pocklet of genes. I think they're already doing this. Like, I think you can pay extra money in China and you can get this done to your kids. I think they're doing gene editing over there already.
I'm going to send you a link because I just saw this story pass by, I think last week. There was a better picture of it. I'm going to try to find that one.
Bring this up on screen real quick. And the link you just sent me is artificial wombs are coming. They could completely change the debate over abortion.
That's some good news on that front.
Artificial.
Here you go. This one's got
wombs.
video. Yeah.
Robot wombs. This is a wild world, dude. And so this other link you gave me, artificial womb video, shows what pregnancy may be like in the future. I'm seeing a picture of a baby in some kind of dish with electrodes hooked up to it with like an awesome Dolby sound system in the background. That's what I'm looking at.
The kid is rocking.
It is rocking. It's probably listening to Bach or High on Fire. You take your pick.
Possibly KC and the Sunshine Band.
If you want your kid to be a wussy, maybe. Maybe.
Want your kid to grow up all weird.
Yeah.
So these are like the Matrix things? Is that what these are?
That's what it looks like. Yeah, you're right. It looks like a Matrix pod. That's what they're advertising. And this is from Ectolife.
Ew.
Let's just listen to a little bit of the intro. Oh, they even got creepy synthwave music.
Introducing Ectolife, the world's first artificial womb facility, powered entirely by renewable energy. Ectolife allows infertile couple to conceive a baby and become the true biological parents of their own offspring. It's a perfect solution for women who had their uterus surgically removed due to cancer or other complications. With Ectolife, premature births and C-sections will be a thing of the past. Ectolife is designed to help countries that are suffering from severe population decline, including Japan, Bulgaria, South Korea, and many others.
Or you could grow babies to eat them and harness their baby blood, because some people
don't say it out loud.
Some people are fueled by the dead babies.
Eat it.
It's just like a giant milking facility, except the little cartons aren't full of milk. It's just adrenochrome and blood.
Baby milkers. This is crazy.
Ugh.
There's something like I get trying to help people and couples that can't have kids, and allow them to bring in their own kid, but this is going to be a convenience thing. Like, they don't want their own bodies to change, so they're going to grow their pod kid, their pod baby, and it's going to come out probably disconnected and completely devoid of all emotion. And this will be the rise of the Antichrist here. The birth of one of these is soulless kids that has no physical attachment. I'm sure everything you like being grown inside of your mother is critically important to becoming a well-adjusted human. I'm just assuming.
Or having an immune system.
Yeah. This is crazy. And the blind seer of the Balkans is saying, hey, this is coming. 2023. It's happening. My God.
We have a good point from the chat. Zach's thing says, why are all the babies in that video white?
They are choosing that skin color. That's what they're choosing because of gene editing.
The facility features.
You're right. All the babies in the video are white. We should write them a nasty note on.
Bunch of racist.
That's what they're saying the future is going to be. So it's creepy. This is very creepy shit. We can come back to this. I'm going to finish some predictions, but this is insanity. So back to the blind mystic. Okay. Then she goes on to predict if pod babies, solar flares, and bioweapons isn't enough, there will be a change in Earth's orbit in 2023. Baba's final prediction for 2023 is just as concerning as the other three. The fortune teller reckons a change will take place in the Earth's orbit, potentially leading to a devastating shift in the environment. Horrifying consequences could spell the end of the human race, with radiation spikes and soaring temperatures from even wreaking havoc on all life as we know it. So there you go. Change in Earth's orbit, which I think would only really take place in a significant way if a large mass just glides by Earth and pulls it out of orbit. Like, what other explanation would there be for a change in orbit? Got to be Planet X.
Yes.
How do they phrase the change in orbit there?
Doesn't say.
Wait, so you're saying this person wasn't specific enough? The hell?
I don't think so. I mean, people can look through. In the links for the this podcast, I'll put links to her predictions. Like, there's an index predictions that I found, from Edgar Casey to the Blind Mystic to all this stuff. And people can just dig through there and see what they said. So for her, but I mean, there's other ones for prophecies in 2023 to 2026, like nuclear fallout, all that kind of stuff, no vegetation, all because of typically war. As for a change in orbit, I'm not seeing that. But the good news is, like the Blind Mystic, her predictions stop at 5079, which means the world ends there. So we have a few thousand more years. So a change in orbit is not going to kill off everyone. So that's good. That's some good news on that front. But there are other more immediate things. I'm going to just kind of change gears a little bit right here. As everyone knows, I love to follow UFO news. I love to follow all this kind of weird and interesting things. And this Reddit thread was going on. And I actually pulled this clip from this gentleman about 2 weeks ago, but it didn't become super relevant until now. But I'll bring this up on the screen. This Twitter thread is, what will happen in 2027? Does Elon know? Is that why the elites are building giant underground cities, the Boring Company, and currently building bases on the moon? What is going on? So this is a former CIA officer, John Ramirez, claims the government is aware of an impending event in 2027, which will reveal something quite significant. So people are being prepared for something. And I have the clip, and here is there's 2 different clips here. I will play the longer one. It's 2 minutes. This is initially John Ramirez was being interviewed about his belief in UFOs, UFO technology, and keep in mind he's ex-CIA. And he's been making the rounds a little bit more prominently regarding UFO disclosure and what the CIA knows, what the government knows. And so you can take this with a grain of salt. If he's being genuine, like a genuine CIA guy that just wants to get the information out, or is he purposely giving this information out to elicit some kind of reaction? You can decide. But here's the clip of John Ramirez.
We're kind of preparing the U.S. population, at least, and by extension, the world population, into that reality that there is a presence here, and that we need to explain this presence. Because if they show up and we continue to do what we did before in previous decades, and they show up, there will be mass panic. But if you understand that these are real, and we have 5 years from 2022, or maybe now 4 years, if they come in 2027, for the U.S. government to prepare the people about what is up there. And in many ways, I think the word got out within the government that they're showing up in 2027, and we better be prepared. And if not, there's going to be a lot of explaining to do. And so I think that dialogue has happened within inside the government, in certain areas inside the government, that we need to prepare. And that's why in 2017, that set a clock of 10 years. And why Lou Elizondo earlier in this year said, just find a hobby for 5 years. And, it'll all be out in 5 years. And he said that this year. So that was 2027. Huh. And I would say I've heard 2027 in a kind of an official capacity that I can't reveal. So I think I would say that people in the government are aware of something happening, and that there's limited time, a few more years to prepare the people. And that's what's ramping up this acceleration from the previous 7 decades of not even acknowledging it to now we are acknowledging it at a faster and faster pace.
There you go. According to him, they're preparing people, and they want to get us ready, us peons, for the appearance of aliens. Disclosure, UFO disclosure is what he's talking about right there. And there's a specific timeline there. So starting at the end of 2017 with the release of that New York Times article about the Tic Tac UFO and all that stuff. That was the 10-year mark to get people kind of on board with this new reality. He's not being specific, really. He just says the government, at least certain people in the know, are aware of this. I would say if this is true, they're certainly taking their time. No one's really talking about the UFO reality at all. They're not telling people to prepare. And like, prepare how? Is he insinuating that there's going to be some sort of invasion? Is there going to be some sort of conflict? Is this all part of like the new space tax that they want to implement in order to create more space weapons and space wars? Star Wars is trademarked. I can't use that. So take that for what it is. I like his candor. I like that he's being open and honest about what he supposedly believes the CIA knows what he knows. But like I said before, he's CIA. Can you trust what he says? I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. But then back to the Twitter thread. They're like, I'm assuming that if something is going to happen in 2026, 2027, the rich people know, and that they're making preparations. Maybe the reason we've seen like all this preparation, all the mandates for everything, and that they're cracking down, it does seem like they're rushing towards something. Like timelines got shifted, and so they had to roll out technology that wasn't really truly vetted, and like it seems kind of sloppy, like with the vax and then digital currencies. Like it does seem like they're rushing to a goal line. We just don't know what that goal line is and why they're rushing so quickly to it. And then one little final clip here. This is from Chris Bledsoe. He's been on the Union of the Unwanted. He's had some very prolific UFO experiences. He and his father have had UFO experiences. He can be a bit of a divisive character in the UFO community because he has some pretty out there, I guess, claims about UFOs. He believes that and thinks that UFOs are just coming to his property all the time, and that they come there so much that he has CIA people there visiting because it is such a hot spot, so they want to go down and check it out. But this happened. Chris had an experience in April of 2012, and he had some messages given to him by some person, some entity, and this is what he had to say about 2026.
So what I'm understanding, let me just clarify this. When you were with this entity in 2012, she told you, right? Stop me when I'm wrong. I don't want to say it wrong. It was your experience, but I'm just going to paraphrase. Okay, cut in when I get it wrong, if I do. She told you that when the red star Regulus aligns with the gaze of the Sphinx level
before sunrise
in the constellation Leo at dawn, that we would enter a new knowledge, an awakening. Is that correct?
Yeah, it would be a new knowledge.
Now, what you're telling me is researchers have, through astronomical simulations, have verified that specific alignment happens in the year. Forget about March. Forget about September. Forget about that. That alignment happens sometime in the year 2026.
Yep, the Easter.
There you go. Okay, some kind of new knowledge in 2026, and that's the Bledsoe family right there. Both he and his father, I think his father was speaking there, and had the experience. Some kind of new knowledge in 2026, right around Easter. Is that new knowledge the knowledge that we are not alone in the universe, or something about our history, a true nature of humanity? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Like the CIA officer said, Joe, we just have to get hobbies for the next few years, and then all will be revealed. So don't worry about it.
Aliens!
Yeah. Can it be just drinking and pounding off?
You can do that. Sure.
All right.
Is that sounds like more of a way of life than a hobby.
It is.
That's a commitment.
It's a lifestyle. But that is what I have on the predictions for 2023, 2026, and 27. Interesting times. So who the heck knows? But it's fun to speculate.
Give us an email at ourbigdumbmouth@gmail.com. Check out obdmpod.com for all the social media and donation links.